A double-header weekend of action here at Pembrey. It means that the RX150s will race twice, once in each direction across the weekend. The Pembrey circuit can be used clockwise and anti-clockwise, and after qualifying today, journalist Hal Ridge, the man with the best score through qualifying itself. So Hal Ridge lines up on pole position, rally driver John Armstrong with him. 10 times British truck racing champion Stuart Oliver makes his debut. He's on the front row ahead of Steve Jones, who's had a win this year, and multiple champion Chrissy Palmer. Lights go green, it is blast off. Can Palmer get a race win out of all of this? It's been a pretty lean season for him. The cars scrabble their way through the first turn. Now, we've lost Steve Jones off the grid. He was the winner last time out at Lyddon. And as the cars blast their way now then up towards the chicane, it's Hal Ridge in the lead. Journalist, television interviewer, it's a busy day for him, and he's keeping John Armstrong at bay. Down Speedway straight they come. Palmer on the attack, he's up to third, and Stuart Oliver, who's raced around Pembrey many times successfully in truck racing, now doing it rather lower to the ground, he's fourth. Armstrong, new race leader as they hit the loose. Hal Ridge right there in second place as the cars bounce and dance their way across that loose surface. Lots and lots of understeer there though from Armstrong. You can see the track has been watered to keep the dust down, and Palmer goes for the joker to serve that early on. Stuart Oliver gains a place then as Chrissy Palmer serves that joker lap. He's back to the normal route now. Round 3 of the championship, we've had 2 different winners in the previous 2 rounds. Mark Scott, who is absent this weekend, Stephen Jones, who's missing from the grid for the final. There is Palmer storming up the inside of Stuart Oliver. Very successful truck racer both in Britain and in Europe is Stuart. He has also dabbled, rather less successfully, in the British Touring Car Championship. Not his finest season, I think he'd admit, but he has certainly dominated truck racing in the UK for a long time, and now adapting to a totally different discipline, and he's got it all wrong at the hairpin. He's locked up, the car has bogged down as with bags of understeer. John Armstrong leads the way. Hal Ridge coming under attack. Chrissy Palmer right there behind him. Circuit racer turned rallycrosser. Formula Ford Festival winner, Mazda champion, occasional historic racer. And his dad, former Caterham and then Formula Ford 1600 racer as well. Up the inside will go Chrissy Palmer now for second place. Job done. Box ticked, he's through, he's ahead as they blast now up towards Taylor's. Scrambling for grit. Now there, in the car off, driven by Kevin Feeney, is Stuart Oliver, recovering from making a mess of the hairpin. Now what can Palmer do about the race leader? He's got a problem! Nothing is the answer, because hand out of the cockpit, Chrissy Palmer slows right down. Yet again, some mechanical woe has stopped him in his tracks. Last year they had this constant electrical problem, but this year, whatever the gremlin is, it's a pretty serious one, and they can't get to the bottom of it. And yet again, poor Chrissy Palmer is affected, and then the car picks up pace. So presumably it's the same thing. The car cuts out, and it's taken him a while to kick-start it. He has done so, but having got himself up into second place and showing good speed, the car again lets him down. It's slow once more, look, coming out of Ollie's, and you can sense the frustration in there for Chrissy Palmer, because there's nothing he can do about it. Just when you think you're on top of it, it suddenly cuts out. So that means that Stuart Oliver is set to gain a place. It also means now that John Armstrong and Hal Ridge are looking very good up front, with John Armstrong here being the race leader. Across the loose section he comes. Now there, look, in second place is Hal Ridge. Whoops, he's got it all sideways, and he's dropped it. Hal Ridge goes round. That gives Chrissy Palmer second place. It might even give Stuart Oliver third. Will it, will it, will it? Not quite. Hal Ridge hangs on to it. Now there is the race leader. John Armstrong is going to make it a third different winner of the season, seemingly, as he accelerates up towards Speedway Straight. He was in the walls a little bit at Lyddon. There is Stuart Oliver, getting better and better and better all the time. Down to the hairpin, turn right, Armstrong lights up the rears, gets sideways. Does he hang on to it? He does, but only just. Wow. 1,000cc motorbike engines in the ultra-light RX150s. So they're a real handful as they dance across the loose. Now there is the fight for third place. You can see it going on. Stuart Oliver on the back of Hal Ridge now. Neither of them do full seasons. Hal Ridge drove one of these cars at Silverstone at the back end of last season. Good to have him back on the grid. Puts down his camera and his notebook and his pen and his microphone for 10 minutes and goes racing. Stuart Oliver, good to see him coming into a new discipline. There, though, on the last lap is John Armstrong. He goes through the chicane. And it looks as though he is on target here for the race win. Battle still raging on behind. Now can Hal Ridge hang on against Stuart Oliver? John Armstrong comes across the loose. Is he going to be able to take a maiden win in RX150s? The rallyman turned virtual rallyman through e-gaming leads the way, and John Armstrong set for honours. There, Ridge keeps Oliver at bay. They sprint their way now across the loose for the last time, up towards the checkered flag, but John Armstrong is clear in the race lead. Hal Ridge actually is gapping Stuart Oliver. There's the flag. It's a race win then for John Armstrong. Chrissy Palmer takes second, but again, huge frustration with third set to go the way of Hal Ridge. There is Stuart Oliver, wiper on. He's had all that mud thrown in his face, which is something else he's got to get used to, because in truck racing, you don't have them different surfaces, and also, he's normally ahead of everybody. Round 3 here at Pembrey, won by John Armstrong. Chrissy Palmer, a frustrated second with Hal Ridge third, and Stuart Oliver comes home in 4th place. So what does all that do to the championship? Steve Jones is ahead of Chrissy Palmer, 7 points the margin. John Armstrong is up to third from Brett Harris, Kevin Feeney and Mark Scott.